Happy New Year.
So, sorry? Oh, happy birthday, yes. Well, as Swami Jyotirmayanandaji says, my guru, when he has a birthday, he always says it's everybody's birthday because truly the blessed self is the only thing that exists. And in the ego, it's the ego that celebrates the birthday and the embodiment, but the blessed self is always alive, has actually never been born and never dies. So, not to put a damper on that, Debbie Downer that I am about that, however. But thank you. And how many embodiments, how many birthdays have I celebrated? Millions, probably, right? As we all have. But thank you. Another day, another year to look forward to serve, right? To be an instrument in the hands of the divine. I pray for that daily, not knowing where I'm going necessarily. But what I want to talk about today is Epiphany. Because Epiphany, the Three Kings, the Feast of the Three Kings was January 6th, Friday. And Friday also, we had a terrible tragedy happen right here in Fort Lauderdale at the airport. This terrible violence, this terrible stress and anxiety and chaos and trauma and a critical incident, right? On Epiphany, on Three Kings Day, January 6th. So I thought, wow, this is really, this is very timely to talk about it then. To talk about, what happened in the story of the Three Kings and the Magi, right, which is sort of like this, the origin of that word in Greek is like where magic came from today, right? The word magic from the Magi, the Three Kings. So they were also like astrologers and, right up your alley, right? The metaphysicians, right? It's really your celebration, the Three Kings, because it's all about metaphysics. And that's what I want to talk about, is the metaphysical and mystical significance of the Three Kings and the story. And so I was thinking about, the shooter and then all of this violence and this mass violence and the horrific nature of everything. And we did pray for everyone involved. And everyone, there's a ripple effect that happens with a critical incident like 9/11 where we watch it on TV and then what it does is it traumatizes us as we watch it. So the violence just sort of ripples. The energy of that, it's a very low frequency, right? It's a low vibration. But I was thinking about Herod. The reason that Jesus, who wasn't born yet, and it was really Mary and Joseph, had to go find, an Airbnb somewhere, there was no vacancy because it was Christmas. No, I'm just kidding. But the reason that they were running was because they had been given this prophecy, this vision. Not really knowing 100% what was going on, but Herod was trying to kill all the babies that were about to be born, right? So there was this violence, this violence that was happening, this murder, these killings that were happening. So enter Mary and Joseph, the guardians of the light. They were the guardians of the light. So the light is, Jesus signifies the light. The Christ consciousness, the light, the blessed self, Brahman, manifest in this case. Because unmanifest Brahman, right, is the force, is the source, is all that is. It can't be touched, it can't be named, it can't be told, it can't be, right? The Tao tells us that, the Tao Te Ching tells us that the eternal Tao, which is the force, can't be named, can't be understood. Can't be known, right? The minute you think you know it, you lost it. That's not it. You've boxed it. You've categorized it. So this unmanifest Brahman in the Hindu tradition, in the Hindu scriptures, we hear about this unmanifest force. That's it. That's the source of all that is. It permeates everything. It always has been. It always will be. It is light and only love. So Jesus represents manifest Brahman. We're manifest Brahman. We're avatars. In the Hindu tradition, manifest Brahman in the form of the avatars are Krishna, Rama, Buddha, Jesus. And we are that manifest Brahman here on earth. So back to the story. Here's Jesus, he's the light. The guardians of the light, Mary and Joseph. Herod, who is he? Ooh, the evil king, right? There's always an evil king. In every religious story and myth, there's always the evil king. Who is the evil king? It's the ego. The ego is threatened. The ego feels that everything is a hostile environment. We're ready to kill it. And all it does, Eckhart Tolle talks about, is that the ego's purpose is to stay alive. Herod is ignorance, veiling the intellect, just like Ravana in the story of the Ramayana in the Hindu story. So here comes Herod, right? Herod's threatened by the light. The dark is always threatened by the light. Kill the light. Kill the light. That's the ego. That's what we do. You know, when we look at the terrible things that happen and unfold on the news and we're like, oh, evil, boo. That's in us. That's our egos. Every time I get annoyed with someone else, every time I feel separated from someone else, every time I criticize someone else, every time I feel threatened by someone else, less than, better than, want to get in front of, compete with, I'm acting in violence. I'm acting from ego. I'm acting from Herod energy. Right? So the guardians of light are Mary and Joseph, and here come these magi, these magicians, right? So here they come and they're following a star in the east. Following a star. This light guides them. This light is guiding them. This is a vision. This is right up your alley. The mediumship stuff, right? This is right up there. It's metaphysical. It's cosmic. It's energetic. It's light. It's something's guiding them. Something's urging them. Did you ever feel that? You've ever feel called? Yes, you are the light. Yes, you are following a star. No matter how hopeless, no matter how far, no matter who fight for the right, without question our cause, right? Remember that song? Right? You're here for a reason. Princess Leia, may she rest in peace, right? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure. She said the light and the force is very strong with you. Very strong with you. It's very strong with you. The light. You're following a star. You're on a path. You're on a journey, right? You're following the star to the light. You're a light worker, but you're also in awareness of the light. See, the Magi had to be in awareness of the light, in awareness of the star, to go find it, to go get it. And they were relentless. They followed the star to get to the light. And they found the light. And when they found the light, they were filled with gratitude. And through that gratitude, they offered gifts. And it's no secret that those gifts have significance, right? There were three of these wise men. Right? Melchior, Balthazar, and Casper. Not Casper the Friendly Ghost, but that was his name. Anyway, Melchior brought gold. What does that signify? Spiritual treasures. I know it's the new year, right? I know it's the new year, and we want, like, abundance, abundance, abundance. Please, God, give me abundance. I am abundance. We pull abundance cards. We do law of attraction cards. Send me the money. Show me the money, right? But it's beyond that. Money's good, because money keeps the lights on. And when we contribute to the cause of the light, well, then it just comes right back at us. Right? But the gold that Melchior gave was really signifying the spiritual treasures. So guess what's a spiritual treasure? This place. Do you believe that? Do you believe that this place is gold? Do you believe that this place right here, that you're creating, this space that transforms lives into greatness, do you think that this is gold? If you do, clap. All right? Spiritual treasures. Spiritual treasures are the places where we get lifted up. Satsanga, good association, right? Spiritual treasures like the scripture, not just one scripture, but all the scriptures. Eckhart Tolle is scripture, okay? Course in Miracles, it's scripture. Conversations with God, it's scripture. The Guru Granth Sahib, it's scripture. It's all treasure, gold. Balthazar brought the gift of frankincense. What does that signify? Well, we could go on and on about the significance of that and the mysticism of that, but it's really talking to us about reminding us to be in prayer, in ritual, lighting the incense. I don't know about you, but when I get to my sacred space in my home or wherever I am, if I light a candle and I burn some incense, boom, I'm like activated. I don't know why. I'm tactile maybe. I just like, like smelling things and things that shine. Don't forget your ritual. Don't forget to make your adorations. Don't forget to make time. There's a line in The Godfather. Just make time, consigliere. We have to make time. Nobody got that. I guess this group doesn't like that. We have to make the time for ritual. We have to make the time that when we're following the star, we're getting to the light, we see the guardians of light, and we must engage also. We engage the guardians of light. Who are our guardians of light? There are our ancestors. They are the gods, the goddesses. They are the angels, the archangels, the saints, our spirit guides, the ascended masters. They're waiting. They're waiting on the side. They're like, summon me, please, I'm bored over here. I've been on this detail for all day, and you're not asking me permission to do something for you. The guardians of light are waiting for you to engage them. And then the third, of course, Casper brings the gift of myrrh. And some of the significance here is about death. It's about embalming. It's about pain. Myrrh is also used back then for pain. Well, guess what? Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. So I can look at the television and I can keep on commiserating about and telling everybody else about what happened. And did you hear? And did you hear? And I do it, man. I do it. I'm not up here preaching anything. I'm here yelling at the top of my lungs so that my own ego will hear what I'm saying. So here's the deal. Awareness of the light. The Magi had the awareness. We have to be in awareness, and we have to say, hey, good news. Guess what? We're not like, and this is not to put anybody else down or put ourselves up, but to just say, hey, we're the Magi. We're the magicians, right? We see the light, we see the star, we know the light is there. We're following the star, like no matter what. Other people are not doing that this morning. They're having brunch on South Beach and, putting back whatever. No judgment, man. Just saying that there's something about the Magi. There were only 3 of them. Right? Well, what about all the other people? What about all the others? Where were they? It was the Magi and the animals and the guardians of light. And the manger was the space. Your affirmation, I am here to create a space. You have to create the space, the sacred space, the holy space. That's the manger. Wherever that is, it doesn't have to necessarily be in your home. It could be right in your heart, right in your mind, between your eyebrows. But create the space. Now, self-effort, awareness plus self-effort. No, and I did not dodge. Take cover. No, I'm just kidding. Swami G tweeted something this morning amazing. He said, attain the goal of life by self-effort, blended with grace. Do your sadhana, which is your discipline, your spiritual discipline, your spiritual practice. Do your sadhana with prayer and divine surrender. Attain God realization. So awareness plus self-effort. I've got gotta make the effort. I've gotta follow the star. I've gotta keep going, even when I feel like I might be lost, even when I feel like, oh my God, there's violence. Oh my God, Herod's gonna find us. No, 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 no. Keep following the star. Stay on the path. Keep doing your sadhana, your spiritual practice. And then, because it's not just willpower, it's divine grace. There's magic. There's magic in engaging the guardians of light. There's magic when I engage divine grace, when I allow divine grace, when I create the space to transform us and everything else into greatness. It's really just waking up. It's allowing us to wake up to who we really are. And that is when magic really happens and the miracle really takes place. So awareness plus self-effort, following the star, being aware of the light, engaging the guardians, that's your formula for 2017.